Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's 64 degrees, clear with 8 miles per hour winds to the east. It's 4 p.m. in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. It's 3 o'clock Central, but it's 9 p.m. here in London at Queensway in London, England, where the St. Louis Gladiators are in town to take on the London Knights. I'm Andy Hamilton along with Shann Varner in the booth, ready for today's contest. Shann, we're going to have a tight one here as both teams try and clamber back into the conversation about the playoffs.
Absolutely. I spoke with St. Louis co-owner Duane Schindler, and he told me the tale of the tape for today's contest was going to be to get his offense going with and spread the wealth with his receivers. Defensively, he wants to cover deep and keep pressure on the D-line.
Well, this was a tight battle in week one. It was actually London's only victory this year. They've lost 6 in a row since that opening game victory, and now St. Louis has come to their home turf for the renewed rivalry. Since that game, St. Louis has won 2 and lost only 4 more. And at 2-5, the Gladiators, wearing all white with the green lids, will kick off to London wearing their red uniforms and gray pants. The ball is off the tee, and we are underway here from Queensway. The return will come out past the 25, and the ball's on the ground! Fumbled, and St. Louis has the opening kickoff in their hands, and what a way to start the game for the Gladiators!
What you want to see there, looks like Levi gets the ball. Almost taken away.
Yeah, the return's coming out to the left here, and Militian spins and then gets the ball just pushed out of his hands, and a nice recovery for the Gladiators, and this is just the perfect start on the road. Didn't even have time to get Andy Cam up and going. Hello to the viewers. We are excited to have you here on the SFL Network on YouTube. So St. Louis has the ball after kicking off just a moment ago, and they will start with a toss out to Diaz. Diaz with blockers in front, tiptoes the sideline down to the 9. What a carry on first down out of the backfield.
Diaz is going to be a huge weapon in this offense. He comes in with 52 receptions, 262 yards, and 1 touchdown so far, Andy.
Denzel Diaz tiptoeing the sideline. What a play with the blockers in front of him, and I'd like to see that out of St. Louis all day if I could get it. That would be a good way for them to neutralize this front 4 out of London, as well as the big linebacker in the middle of Slyn Shady. We'll get to the defense in a minute. They will toss out to Diaz with 3 blockers in front of him, and an escort. Will he get in? No, he stopped at the goal line. Great defense from London. It looked like he was on an escort mission to the end zone, and London's able to get the stop.
Being one of their top receivers on the field, he hasn't really got a whole lot of carries in the red zone, but let's see if he can get one here.
2nd and goal from the goal line. St. Louis threatening. Hands off to Diaz. Right side angles. And, he's cut down by Slyn Shady. A nice tackle for loss. And London's trying to come up with a goal line stand here.
Yeah, Slyn Shady's got 50 tackles so far. 17 assists, 1 tackle for loss, 11 bat downs, and 2 interceptions. 2 interceptions is almost never heard of from a linebacker, Andy.
3rd and goal from the 2. Shotgun look for Dylan Asil. Diaz off to his right side, and for the first time he won't get the ball. Asil throws back to the end zone, tipped away, incomplete. London comes up with a stand. Well, that is certainly heartening for the London fan base here at Queensway after the opening kickoff is fumbled by Jeff Militian. If you're late coming into the broadcast, you've missed a lot already. The opening kickoff is fumbled by London. St. Louis recovers. They drive down on the legs of Denzel Diaz but cannot punch it in. The Knights stop them, and now they're only able to add the 18-yard field goal. We'll take a break and be right back on the SFL Network, brought to you by APM Music.
The Simulation Football League is presented by APM Music and is the official theme music provider of the SFL. Listen to their Champions Will Rise soundtrack at apmmusic.com today and search through thousands of tracks to boost the quality of your stream just like us. APM Music, production music library, and custom music house.
So Malinishin on that return holds on to the ball and does a very good job there of returning out to the 29. It looked like he had a lane there for a minute. So starting in the shotgun, London will have the ball now. Nathan Lee is alone in the gun and will toss on first down. A completion there across the middle. I believe that's Tristan Carr, and it is.
Tristan Carr being one of the top receivers on this London team with 72 receptions, 724 yards, but only one touchdown. So they're getting him involved in the game, but just not in the red zone, it appears.
From the 40, they will try that empty look again. It worked for him on first down. Lee, quick fire out to the left-hand side, hauled in, dragged the feet. James Hands picks up 3.
James Hands, he's a big frame, 6'6", 240 pounds.
Hands able to haul it in and get the feet in bounds. That's sometimes the hardest part on the sideline, is keeping your feet down and in. And now that'll set them up here. A 3-4 look out of St. Louis. That's unique. Ray King Ball in the backfield. They will toss to him. Ray King Ball re-angles himself, then we'll get back to the line of scrimmage and nothing more. 19 viewers watching. Thank you all for tuning in here for St. Louis against London, as well as a big shout out to our stats man in the booth along with us. That is Harish Prasad, who's doing a wonderful job for us. We appreciate all the people on the stats team. Nathan Lee fires on the corner route, incomplete. Looking for Hands, and Colin Douglas was in coverage, and he says not today.
Colin Douglas already has 4 interceptions on the year, Andy.
Douglas, one of the better cornerbacks in the league, and he's able to make the play there on James Hands and force this 4th down, and London will have to turn the ball back over to St. Louis, who did well on their first drive, even though they started with really good field position.
Quarterbacks are staying clean so far in this contest.
St. Louis on the return, right up the middle, and he will get to the 30-yard line. So the Gladiators will retake over on their first drive going down the line here. Dylan Asil, 2 for 3, 24 yards. He targeted Nick Finch once for an incompletion, but Denzel Diaz really ran the tail of the tape. 1 rush for -2 yards, but 2 catches for 24 yards is really the offense here from the Gladiators so far, and Diaz will start in the shotgun with Asil right behind him. Cody Scott is on the top side of the line, and Asil will throw, fires down the seam, tipped up, and caught! Oh my gosh! What a catch! Down the sideline, are they going to catch him? Cody Scott to the 15! I've never seen anything like that in my life!
Wow, that was a tip drill for sure. Great hands by Cody Scott.
Well, Shann, not to bring up a bad memory, but that right there looked like it was something out of a Auburn game where it was tipped up. I've been watching a lot of college football memories, and it was tipped up right into the hands of the Auburn receiver, and he scored on that play. Cody Scott didn't quite have the speed, but what a catch.
Yeah, I believe that was the Georgia game where Lewis caught the ball, number 5 for Auburn.
Indeed. Wow.
Down.
What a play, and that will set them up in the red zone. Handoff, Diaz, left side, re-angles to the right, and picks up 3 before Slyn Shady rides him down.
Here's a little funny stat for you, Andy. Asil in their first game had 532 passing yards, 63 attempts, and 36 completions. But he had sacks. So if this defensive line for London can get, penetration, then Asil's going to have a long day.
And it looks like the Gladiators have employed this kind of toss it out to Asil, let the blitz come. Motto, and Diaz is fighting his way to the 2. I thought he was going to get to the pylon there, and it seems to be working for him, Shann.
St. Louis is doing a great job they're just basically taking away London's defensive line by throwing the ball out to the outside here and letting Diaz do his magic.
And what a waste of a blocker for number 50 there on that replay. He didn't block anyone, Shann. Diaz had 2 guys he had to shake off, and number 50 just stood there watching.
He'd probably say, well, he got it.
Didn't quite get it. They'll have to fight here on 1st and goal from the 2. 4-down lineman for London. The hand to Diaz off the left side. Diaz waltzes in. Touchdown, Gladiators. They extend their lead to 10.
No, they have Slim Shady in the middle of the field, so they don't want to run the ball up the middle because he's a very dangerous linebacker. So they're running the ball to the outside. They're throwing the ball to the outside, basically taking away this front 5 here.
9-0. And the extra point to make it 10. Dylan Aseel through the first 2 drives, 4 of 5, 89 yards for a rating of 118.7. That's a pretty solid.
Pretty solid.
Low snap is corralled. The kick is up and through. The Gladiators don't continue their kicking problems, and we'll step aside and be right back on the SFL Network. Brought to you by APM Music.
Join the world's fastest growing sim football community by jumping onto our Discord server. Use the Discord command in chat to keep up with schedules, news, notes, announcements, and polls. Jump off the sidelines and into the action, here where we're loading legends at the SFL.
Well, Malinishin will return his 3rd kick today. Only his 2nd one that London has retained possessions on. If you're just tuning in or you missed the opening kickoff, he fumbled it, and St. Louis recovered the play, which made it really interesting here. Now London will start their 2nd drive with a bunch formation. Nathan Lee looking to throw. Leaves one up the middle, and the one red shirt in a sea of white comes down with it. What a grab. It was Maximilian Rodriguez who hauled it in, and that looked like a prayer, Shann.
It looked like a dime.
It's a good throw right in front of some of the best defenders for St. Louis. And look at him on the sideline. Yeah, I caught that. What are you going to do about it?
He's ready to go back, so he has his helmet on.
Yeah, he might see the bench for a while. Lee will line up with 2 men in the backfield with him, including Rex Ripley, the new fullback for London. Didn't get much action last week, and he doesn't block anyone here. Nathan Lee in trouble, and down he goes. The blitz from St. Louis gets to Nathan Lee, and they're going to crush the can on him. Carter Cannon just unblocked up the middle.
I was surprised to see the 3-4 in there because London doesn't have the fullback with Rex, but usually you would use the 3-4 for a run-stopping formation.
They'll go 3-3 on this play. Spread look for London. Late blitz from St. Louis. They avoid it by tossing it out to Tristan Carr, who runs to his coach and picks up 3.
Defense for St. Louis is really trying to put the pressure on Nathan Lee.
And it worked for him on the last play, and now they'll face a 3rd and a mile. Some people to watch out for. James and Donnie Hands are the receivers. Tristan Carr is the tight end. Nathan Lee will be the man delivering the ball, and the man not on the field is Rex Ripley, the fullback. He is the newest addition to London, and they would like to utilize him a little bit more. Lee under pressure, and he will avoid a sack, but not the second wave of blitz from St. Louis. Down he goes.
This St. Louis defense is looking vicious.
So London on 4th and 26 will punt it away down 10-0.
St. Louis, great field position.
Low snap, punt gets away as St. Louis came after it, and it will be returned across the 40 to the 42, and that is where St. Louis will get the ball back. So far, pretty successful on their opening 2 drives. Denzel Diaz, 6 touches, 37 yards, and a touchdown so far in today's contest. And he's hoping that they can keep that going here. Now up by 10, looking to put London in the hot seat at home and potentially down by 3 scores. Asil will look to throw, dumps this one out to Truckee Steck, the fullback. He'll pick up 2.
It looked to be in a 4-2 here, and just had like a twisting motion with their defensive line. I'm not sure what that was all about, but time for Asil to get out with the ball.
They will start the drive at they will start here at the 43 with Asil in the shotgun, moves in the pocket, delivers there, broken tackle, down the right side, Denzel Diaz still on his feet, and he will get to the 36. What a run. Diaz really the motor horse of this Gladiators team.
His uniform has on him, some slip and slide, something.
There's one broken tackle there, a broken tackle at the sticks. Lynn Shady, the usually strong tackler there, is broken. That's Melanish in there. That's
2,
another star. So
3.
Yeah, Blake is finally the one who corrals him along with number 29. So finally they bring him down, but not before just a mess of defenders are left on the field without anything to grab at. Asil to throw. Diaz, plenty of room on this right side with 2 blockers, but he has stood up and dropped. Nice job there by the defender for London coming up. Rick Hard coming up to make the play.
Before the game, I talked to Duane Schindler, and he said that he wanted to get all of his receivers involved. Well, it's about time you look for somebody else than Asil. Or, excuse me, Diaz.
2nd and 5. Asil to throw, pumps once, moves in the pocket under a little bit of pressure, will check down to Diaz. He has stood up and dropped. That'll bring up 3rd and 4. Nice job by the London defense there. So from the 30, they need to make it to the 26. There's a look at Diaz's numbers, and Prasad here in the booth is right on target there. 64 all-purpose yards for him. And let's see where they go on 3rd and 4. It looks to me, Shann, like they might dump it out. No, it's a handoff. Diaz up the middle. He stood up and dropped. Slyn Shady filled that hole like a plumber who was trying to ruin someone's pipes. I don't know why plumbers would be doing that, Shann, but that's what he did right there. No words. That's probably the best course of action there. I don't blame you. I'm not sure how that one came up, but it did. St. Louis kicks it away, and it is through from 47. What a boot on that man. He struggled in week 1, but he has no issue there. Matthew Martin says, look at this, London. I can kick field goals no matter what you think. We'll step aside and be back on the SFL Network, brought to you by APM Music.
Want to do what I do? Contact me in a DM on Discord to find out how you can get involved with streaming live games, calling games, or breaking them down on the air with our broadcast team. Or help make our production even better by joining our new live stats team, helping our broadcasters shine brighter. We are #Loading Legends in the SFL.
So now London will take over. Shann, down by 13. What's your speech on the sideline?
You've got to get the ball to Donnie or James or Tristan. You got to give it to somebody. You don't have a running back that is very effective, so you're going to have to get it out to your receivers, and you got to do it in a hurry here.
Lee will change the play at the line, bunch formation to the top. I don't think we've gone through the London offense. We'll get to it in a minute, as well as the St. Louis defense. Lee dumps off out of the backfield. I believe that's Ray King's ball. It is, and he will not even get back to the line, losing a yard. Ray King balls the halfback. Rex Ripley, the fullback. Oh, no, we did go through London. We'll do them again. You know what, London? Congrats. It's your day. You'll get twice. Donnie Hands and James Hands are the receivers. Tristan Carr, the tight end. Nathan Lee, the quarterback. That's the London offense. We'll go through the St. Louis defense here in just a moment following this play. Lee will take a 7-step drop. Late blitz, fires down the seam, tipped up and incomplete. Tristan Carr cannot match what Cody Scott did earlier in the game. It was Freeman Peltier, on the deflection.
Andy, one thing that Nathan's got to do is he's got to get the ball out quickly. I don't think he's trying to get the ball out as quick as that defensive first four. They're blitzing every time.
3rd and long here. Lee, 4 receivers and a tight end will throw. Late blitzer, fires down the seam. It's caught, hauled in by Donnie Hands, and I think, and we'll check with Prasad, I believe that is Donnie Hands' first catch of the game, and it is. Not even targeted up to this point.
But coming into this game, Donnie Hands has 38 receptions, 456 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Let's go through the St. Louis defense here as they just let up that 3rd down conversion. Scott LaRue, Shane Masters, and Mandrake Perp are the defensive linemen. New linebacker here in St. Louis, Ajamu Afolabi. I'm sure Shann has words about him. And the cornerback, Colin Douglas, as well as the 2 safeties, Ethan Kai and Freeman Peltier. Lee moves in the pocket, throws on the run, and it's batted away. Incomplete, dangerous throw, rolling to his right, throwing across his body to the middle of the field, and St. Louis couldn't make him pay for it.
Biggest things that I love about Ajumu Afolabi is he's 6'5", 250 pounds. He's just a monster, linebacker. He was at Chicago last year, did a great job for us. Unfortunately, he moved to St. Louis, and now he's doing a great job for them.
Lee will move in the pocket and throw again down the seam, and that one's caught by James Hands. Nice catch by him, and Ray King ball is down in the backfield. They won't show us what happened to Ball. Hands hauls it in, but Ball will take a talk with the medical staff, and if it's anything like a nurse situation in high school, they'll give him a cracker and send him back out there.
They're starting to move the ball a little bit with some of these receivers.
And just at the right time, too, down by 13 here as time ticks away in the first 50 seconds left. Nathan Lee will look to fire, and he got a man again. James Hands, and that looked almost like the same play.
Carr is probably their top receiver, having 72 receptions, 724 yards, but only 1 touchdown. But James Hands has to be the #1 receiver to his record so far.
And Tristan Carr has really lit up the season for London with the long plays, but the 2 Hands brothers have been very consistent in the middling areas of the field, and I'm sure London would like to harp on that today, or this evening, I guess I should say, against St. Louis. Firing there, left side, caught, and spinning for the first down. What a move. Donnie Hands able to keep his feet and get upfield.
It wasn't spectacular, but I love that spin move. He knew exactly where the first down was, and he spun to get that first down for his team.
So they'll get to the 6, 13-0 down here in this one, 15 seconds, and he did get out of bounds, so the clock will just start rolling now as they break the huddle. Will they take a snap before the quarter break and before they have to switch ends of the field is the question. Lee with both backs in the shotgun with him. They will get the play off. Lee fires back corner of the end zone. Oh, they should have waited. Picked off. Freeman Peltier takes it away. And that, Shann, is why you might want to wait for the quarter break.
Peltier is one of the best free safeties I've seen in a long time. With St. Louis, he has 50 tackles, 9 assists, 1 tackle for loss, 3 bat downs, and 4 interceptions.
That's the end of the first quarter. 13-0, St. Louis on top. They just took the ball back here on the SFL Network, brought to you by APM Music. So they tried to float one to Tristan Carr in the back of the end zone. It did not work, and Dylan Asil in the offense here for St. Louis will take over at the 20-yard line. 11 minutes, new clock here in the second, and they will give to Diaz, who was stood up and dropped in the backfield. What a play by the London defense coming up here on first down. It was number 22, Jimmy Rigg, who bit on that one and took a big bite down.
It was a it was a nice takedown in the backfield there.
Shotgun look for a seal. We'll run through the St. Louis offense and the London defense momentarily. Pressure coming immediately, and he's down. What a play there. I believe that's William Davidson, and it is. What? The pressure was just immediate, Shann.
Davidson flew off that.
Davidson
has 13 tackles for loss so far.
Davidson, Axmail, Patton, and Tyrone Zeus are the defensive linemen. A seal to throw again, and William Davidson backs up his first sack with a second one. Shann, one more, and we're going to have points on the board for London.
10 sacks on the season so far, 2 half sacks.
Northrup, the punter, will have his heels on the paint in the end zone, and he will try and avoid the safety here as he will kick it away. The boot is to it, and London will have great field position to start. Malinishin shakes one man and gets to the 32. They're already almost in field goal range, Shann. If only they had a star kicker.
London was thinking when they traded their star kicker, somebody who can, put points on the board, at least at 40 yards out, who they're not even getting in the game so far in this contest.
Lee all alone in the shotgun. He says, Ripley, get off the field. We're going to throw here. Lee to drop back under a little pressure. Fires on the out route. Caught turning upfield. 15. And he will get to the 12 before he is tackled. It's a nice grab there, Shann, by, I don't even want to attempt. Langley with the grab.
Just upset at his team so far.
That must be some type of anime name. We'll just say that Liam is into the anime, and you all can take that for what it's worth. First and 10 from the 12. Looking to throw. Lee under pressure. Dumps off. It's caught and out of bounds across the left-hand side is number 87. And Nathan Lee continues a really good streak of throwing despite the interception. Julius Nicholson hauls that one in.
73% completion rate so far.
Ocho 11 has called me at least, Shann, the GOAT. And I don't know if I'll take that title as a commentator, but yeah, he can call me whatever he likes. Lee, 7-step drop, fires back corner, the end zone! St. Louis makes him pay again. Colin Douglas this time with the diving grab.
You can add one more to Colin. That'd be 5 interceptions on the season so far. 22 tackles, 8 assists, 4 tackles for loss, 8 bat downs.
Well, just all the stats for Colin Douglas, because my goodness, unbelievable there. Scenes from Colin Douglas, and he gives St. Louis the ball, and more importantly for this Gladiators defense, keeps London off the board. There's one thing you're never going to do, Shann, and you're never going to win a game if you can't score points. Diaz off the left side will pick up 3, and whether that's with your defense or your offense, somehow you got to get on the board.
I think London playing at home, they just need to calm down and, and do what they do. And what St. Louis is doing.
Heavy formation out of the Gladiators. They will throw, dump off Diaz right side. Diaz is stood up and dropped, and London looks like they've sniffed that play out. Jeff Malinishin there. There's an injury update on Ray King Ball. He's dead, so we'll see him back next week, but not today. Obviously wish him the best, and the medical staff will get out that magic powder.
Sure what he did to get that.
Yeah, we didn't get a good look at it, but we wish the best to him. Hope he is all right, and he'll be back on the field next week for London. A seal under pressure, throws on the run down the seam, tipped it incomplete. London's defense comes up with a stop here. The defense for London has actually been playing really well. They've been put in some bad situations from the offense, but they've been able to hold when they really have been under pressure.
you know, Cody Scott being one of the top receivers for this St. Louis Gladiators team, he only's been targeted one time for one big catch, and that was that 55-yarder he had completed earlier.
So St. Louis will punt. Malinishin will return. Kick is away. Malinishin will field it at the 45. Shakes one man, and now he's going the wrong way backwards, and there is nothing but white shirts in front of him. Couldn't get a block to save his life.
There was nobody back there to block for him.
From the 45, London will start their next drive. 2 back-to-back interceptions on the last 2 drives, both in the red zone, and they'd like to put some points on the board here. Down by 13, not out by any means. I mean, it's real early, and they're only down by 2 touchdowns. Lee will move in the pocket and deliver it to Tristan Carr across the right side for 6.
As high-powered as London is, it won't take but a couple plays, and they'll be right back into this game.
That is for certain. There's a look at James Hands, who's one of the receivers who will need to start doing some stuff if London wants to get back into this one. Again, Ray King Ball is out. Rex Ripley, the fullback, is still in the game, though. Lee fires on the corner route deep down the field. Tipped by Colin Douglas, and it looks like James Hands almost was able to locate that ball.
I'm not even sure if his head turned around to see where the ball was at. He was just going for the post route.
So that'll bring up 3rd and 4 for London here, down by 13, and momentum has just been against them all day, Shann, and that's almost what they need more than they need a first down here.
He has 23 receptions, but only 6 touchdowns. You would think he wouldn't throw the ball so deep when you got Peltier and Colin Douglas.
Lee firing down the right side, taken away again. Right back the other way is Ethan Kai, who takes the ball to the 38, and St. Louis has been lights out on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, he just reads that the whole way.
Yeah, he gets right there in front of the defender and just takes it away from him.
And I don't know if it was Lee thinking that maybe, you know, he could throw it high enough to get it over Kai, but that was just an ill-advised throw. It's one-on-one, but they're step for step with each other. So St. Louis takes over at the 38, still only up by 2 scores. They will hand off here to Diaz, who picks up 2.
For the most part, Asil's staying pretty clean. You know, his passer rating is 111.74.
But the issue there is he's only thrown the ball to a receiver not named Denzel Diaz twice.
Right.
Diaz 7 catches, 62 yards, gets his 8th carry up the middle, and he gets 2 yards there. So Diaz really the workhorse here for St. Louis, and they still only have been able to profit 13 points off it.
Yeah, and what you're doing here is when you give it to Diaz on these little short out routes, is you're not getting down the field, which, you know, you possibly could.
Asil throws a wobbler down the seam, and it's incomplete, out of the hands of the player. Slyn Shady there was coming on the pressure, or excuse me, William Davidson.
So what London is doing right now is their defense is allowing these short yard gains, but not allowing anything to get back deep on them. Smart play by London here.
London defense holds again, so they are going to be able to get the ball back here. Still only down by 13, and if it weren't for this defense in London, I don't know if this game would be close. Malinishin on the return will get to the 26. That'll be something to look at halftime, Shann, is the time of possession, because it is strongly in the Gladiators' hands.
Right.
1st and 10 from the 26. Bunch look at the top of the formation for Nathan Lee. He will drop to throw. Stands, delivers down the middle. It's complete. Wow. Wide open man there was number 12, James Hands, and there was no one in the middle of the field, Shann.
When your defense is in a 3-4 here, there's not going to be anybody in the middle. They're all trying to blitz here. The only ones that's back is Colin and here.
So from the 49, 5 minutes to go here in the second. Two receivers split out. 3-4 look out of St. Louis. Nathan Lee thinks he sees something and is going to change the play.
The middle of the field.
Time continues to roll. Lee moves in the pocket and tries to float one, and that was just an ill-advised throw. Nothing but white shirts there, and he could not flip it over him. Falabi as well as Colin Douglas were there pretty much holding hands.
Yeah, Afalabi hasn't been too efficient in this game here.
Second and 10, empty set for Nathan Lee from the 49. Time has stopped at 4:51. Lee will change the play at the line. St. Louis will bring 3. Lee jumps out of the backfield here on second down, and that's a great play, picking up 9. Just a good way to cut into this 10-yard deficit. That'll make it a really manageable 3rd and 1.
Did right here with Donnie. They sent him on a fade route and allowed number 80 here to get up underneath and make that completion. Corner completely out of the game.
3rd and 1. Fullback is in. Rex Ripley has not carried the ball today, despite this being his second game. Has not yet found his way into the game plan for London. Let's see if they use him here. They will. Hand off Ripley up the middle, and he picks it up. Nice job by Rex Ripley to move the ball to the 38.
And that's what you need. You need that big guy. Rex Ripley comes in at 6'2", 265 pounds. Just a monster of a man. Almost as big as Johnny English from back in the day, but don't have the records.
Twins to the top of the screen. 2 backs in the backfield. They'll give to Ripley again. Ripley this time is stood up and will only get a yard.
I think you got to use him in moderation, though. not on every play just because he ran it good for the first down there.
Right, and that might have been some excitement from new head coach Gerald Smith, who saw what Ripley could do and maybe thought, you know what, hey, maybe I should give him another one.
Numbers for Lee.
2 receivers split out. 3-4 look again from St. Louis. Lee moves in the pocket, well protected, fires on the out route, and it's caught there. Donnie Hands keeps the feet in bounds. Nice throw for him, and the fans like that.
Catch. I mean, it's a toe drag swag right here to the outside. Just defender. Great catch.
So from the 22, London is almost in the red zone. They've struggled here all day, as you can see, which is evident by the scoreboard, have been unable to put anything up. 2 picks in the red zone here for Nathan Lee. He fires here on the right side. It's caught, and into the end zone goes Donnie Hands. Touchdown, London.
Not sure, but I'm thinking the corner was a little bit too far back whenever James got the ball there. Donnie. Oh, right off the bat. The corner was just completely out of the play here.
And it's that side of the field where they have some trouble. Ethan Kai is the safety over there. The cornerback is non-contract. And London makes him pay for it and makes this one a ball game, Shann. Here's the extra point will make it 7-13. As long as the kick goes through, it is up and in. 7-13. We'll be right back on the SFL Network, brought to you by APM Music. Follow the SFL on Twitter @SimulationFL, on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube and Twitch channels. You're already here, right? Might as well stay tuned. Get league updates on your phone while browsing the internet, and make sure you never miss a live broadcast. Thank you for supporting the SFL. So London kicks off. They will do this again after the halftime break here in 3 minutes or so. And St. Louis will start at the 23. And Shann, there's 3 minutes to go. If you're St. Louis, do you push it or you try and run out this clock?
I would just run the clock out. I would just take the lead into halftime, assess some things, and then come back even stronger third quarter.
You do get the ball after the break, too, so it would be interesting if St. Louis can drive down and put points on the board. They'd get the ball again after the half, and that really could put London in a hole. Handoff Diaz up the middle, and he has stood up and dropped. A host of Knights were in the area. Matt Patton, William Davidson, and Tyrone Zeus all were part of that play.
You know, London did a whole lot of things great, but what they have done is they've kept St. Louis from scoring multiple times. They've held them to field goals. It's 13-7. It's a very manageable game for London. We'll just have to see after this play.
Everyone's on the line for St. Louis with Diaz in the backfield. They will throw. Asil checks out to Diaz on the right side, and he is dropped, and I think he got out of bounds, Shann.
Look, he caught the ball, but he went out of bounds after the catch.
Yeah, not really what you wanted out of that play. But it is 3rd and 3 from the 31. London trying to come up with another stop. The defense has been great for the Knights so far today, despite being in some bad situations and being down. Asil throws, and it is incomplete. He was looking for Cody Scott, but the diving attempt from the London defense is good enough to make the play, and now St. Louis will have to punt, and there's a lot of time on this clock.
You know, if the defense didn't make that play, Cody Scott would have been gone. Behind him.
So St. Louis will kick it away. London will get the ball back here. Kick is away. London will return from the 35 up to the 39, and they have 2:16 and all 3 timeouts. And they have the receivers to make the plays here if any team in the SFL would. Lee fires. Nice post route there, and they're able to pick up 11 to midfield. Nice throw and catch. Hauling it in there was number 12. That's James Hands.
That's what worries me about this St. Louis defense is they're constantly in that 3-4, makes very susceptible to the pass plays.
That's a 2-minute warning. It's 13-7. St. Louis on top of London here from Queensway in London, England. Again, I'm Andy Hamilton along with Shann Varner and Harish Prasad in the stats booth. We appreciate all of our stats team, and we appreciate you all tuning into today's broadcast. St. Louis and London, do we have a close one for you? London trying to get back on the board. They do not get the kick after the break. Lee fires in the corner, out wide open, man, it's hauled in. James Hands, I don't know if he did a double move or what, but Colin Douglas gave him too much room, and he hauls that one in at the 19.
Well, it's not much of a difference, but 6'3", 215 Colin Douglas is no match for 6'6", 220.
Four receivers out, 3 in a bunch to the bottom of the formation. Now they're in the red zone. Lee has struggled down here. 1 touchdown, 2 picks are the outcomes. Lee moves in the pocket, checks down to the back out of the backfield, and that is the second back for London, and we'll get his name here in just a second. Number 39 is Peter Hunn. Sounds like he's part of Mulan, Shann.
You could say that.
They will try a similar formation here as Nathan Lee will look to throw again. Checks this one across the middle, and I believe that one is caught to the 11. That was the fullback, Rex Ripley, out from the formation in the receiving pattern. Gotta like that. Here's Lee again. He will fire. Wide open man to the left side. Oh, he fumbles. Ball's on the ground, and St. Louis recovers. 3 turnovers in the red zone. You gotta hate that. James Hands was 2 yards from the end zone, and he fumbles. Look in that room.
I mean, Peltier just comes in and lays the wood on this guy.
And the Gladiators benefit. That's just killer for London's drive. They were about to score right before the halftime break, and then they get the ball back after the break. It would have just been the perfect scenario for the Knights to get back into this one, and Hands cannot hold on to the ball.
Well, they've got everybody on the defensive line. Maybe they can do something here.
Check down. Diaz off the left-hand side. He picks up 6 yards to the 10, and with 37 seconds left, the Gladiators might as well just take a knee and get out of the halftime.
I would run it to the outside. No need to get off the lobby, or excuse me, into the mix here. I'd run the ball to the outside, run that clock out.
But stay in bounds. That would be the key. The last thing you want to do is go out of bounds too many times. Seal, checks out to Diaz on the right side. He puts a man down, and Slyn Shady pushes him to the boundary, but not out of bounds. Diaz does a good veteran job of staying in and keeping that clock moving. First and 10 from the 17. Single back. Seal checks out to Diaz on the left-hand side. He is dropped, and that will do it for the first half. St. Louis on top, 13-7. 3 red zone turnovers have plagued London. We'll be back after the halftime break. Back in London, England, we're closing in on 10 p.m. here in England, but it's 13-7, St. Louis on top of the London Knights, and the Knights have to kick it back to St. Louis here. The Gladiators have benefited from 3 red zone turnovers, and the Knights are struggling on the offensive side of the ball. but we got 2 more quarters to play as London kicks it away. Gladiators to return across the 25. They will get out to the 30, and that is where Dylan Asil will bring the offense back out.
Before the game, Andy, both of these teams have really great defenses. It's going to come up to which offense is going to play a huge role into this game. So we're looking at a great ball game right now, defensively.
2 quarters to go. A fresh set of downs for St. Louis, and Asil will start in the shotgun on his own. 2 receivers spread out each side. Diaz in the slot. Asil under pressure, and down he goes. An opening sack from Matt Patton.
Ow.
No wrap-up needed.
No, he just lowered his shoulders down and laid the wood.
Look at this. Bam.
Boom. Sit down, boy.
That's one way to come out of the locker room if you're London.
Fired up and ready to go. That's what I'm talking about.
Handoff, left side, Diaz with blockers. Diaz on the open field. He's got the speed, and he gets wrapped up at the 46. What a burst into the hole.
Get my quarterback like that. Just give me the rock.
Look at that hole. Good blocking, too, and he was about one broken tackle away from having an escort to the end zone by Nick Finch. First and 10 from the 46. 10 minutes to go here in the third. Asil will change the play at the line. 2 receivers to the top of the screen. They will throw, and it's batted away. London's defense buckling down the hatches again. They let up the big run, and then they shut it down.
Out of London's defense there in the 4-2 nickel.
(13-7) is still the score. It's been low all day. At one point, St. Louis was up 13-0, and now London has clambered back, and their defense is looking to get off the field and get the ball back for Nathan Lee and the offense, who have given the ball away in the red zone 3 times. Handoff Diaz right side. He is dropped. Jeff Malinishin coming up to make the play.
And that's one thing we haven't seen all game is Malinishin coming up and making these big, huge tackles for London. And so far, you know, before this contest started, he had 43 tackles, 10 assists, 1 tackle for loss, 5 bat downs, and 2 interceptions, and a guy who returns the kicks as well.
3rd and 9. I'm sure Gerald Smith would like to get off the field here. Asil under pressure is going to run for it. He's going to get there. No! Slim Shady cut him down. It looked like he had the first down dead to rights, and Slim Shady closed the gap and brought him back. Have you ever seen something like that, Shann?
I haven't, and it was a great job by Slim Shady. He's one of the top tacklers on this team with 50 tackles, 17 assists.
And it looks like Asil went to slide there, and Shady kind of denied him the slide and pulled him back and almost suplexed him. 4th and 1, and oh my gosh, look at all that room up to the top of the screen.
Oh my gosh.
They'll give to Diaz up the middle, and he's got it.
At top, he just went straight up the middle on these guys.
London held him for 3, but not 4. And St. Louis moves the chains, and if you're a London fan, that's got to just deflate you. Handoff, Diaz, top of the screen. He shakes off 1 and then gets brought down after a gain of 4. Lynn Shady on the tackle there again. Shady has been all over the field today and has been doing his job pretty much to a T, as London's defense, like I said, has buckled down pretty well today.
But I'm liking Asil's numbers right now. He has 94.68 quarterback passing rating, 72 completions.
Diaz gets crushed up the field, and it's really Diaz or bust here for St. Louis. Shann, you talked about how Dwayne Schindler and the owners for St. Louis wanted to get everyone involved. Well, let's go down the list here. Cody Scott, 1 catch, 55 yards, and no score. Nick Finch, 0 catches on 3 targets, 1 non-contract player with a catch. Denzel Diaz has every other touch. As that sack will put the drive for St. Louis not only on 4th and 13, but way out of field goal range. Tyrone Zeus, you are a man. Yeah, picked him up off the ground.
Not sure why you would go deep here. You're already winning the game. You just need to pick up, 5 yards here, 5 yards there, and it's still a first down. So play and try to make an out of it.
4th and 13. The punt is angled towards the top of the field. It's going to bounce at the 6. It's going to bounce into the end zone, and London will have a touchback. So despite, I would say London's defense has played just as good as St. Louis's is, they just have struggled to get the turnovers that the Gladiators have in the red zone. Lee fires Tristan Carr open down the seam right in front of Freeman Peltier. And look at those numbers in the difference of quarterbacking. The 3 interceptions is the only difference here, Shann. That's just as easy as pitch and catch. Big man to big man.
Well, Tristan Carr is 6'7", 249 pounds, so...
Again, I am Andy Hamilton along with Shann Varner and Harish Prasad here in the booth broadcasting today's contest. Lee will look to throw, completes this one across the middle for a first down gain. Nice grab there by Donnie, hands to the 46. First and 10 from the 46 for London. 6 minutes to go in the third, and they are driving. Lee checks off there down the left-hand side. It is caught, and a nice gain there for 8. London's been moving, Shann. Nice out route with Tristan Carr right in front of him. Couldn't secure the block, but a nice 8-yard pickup will make it 2nd and 2 for London. No star halfback. They do have the fullback, which is Ripley has been well and good today, and they're going to line him up in the I formation. Lots of men for St. Louis on the line. Lee will check out of it and throw. There is a completion to Tristan Carr down the right sideline. 20, 15, 10. Will he get to the pylon? No, he's down at the 2.
Like seeing, Nathan doesn't do a lot of things, but what he does do is he gets these out routes, man, and these guys catch the ball and they make huge yardage. They make the defense pay out of these big plays like this. Out of these small plays.
Tristan Carr just needed a little bit more speed or a dive, and he might have been able to get into the end zone. But St. Louis's defense shuts him down, and now Nathan Lee is in nightmare mode, Shann. You're in the red zone, and you got to try and score.
I would try to run it first here, your first down and goals, so... see if we can get a run here, and then maybe pass a couple times.
Lee to throw under pressure, dumps out of the backfield. It's caught, but out of bounds at the 2. Incompletion there. And London is going to have to regroup for 2nd down.
With Nathan only, he has 3 interceptions so far and only 1 touchdown, but his completion percentage is, so, you're still getting the ball out from time to time, just not at the right times.
6-point difference between these two teams here in the third. 4:42 to go and ticking. Nathan Lee will drop to throw. Fires middle of the field. Incomplete. St. Louis read that one like a book at a library.
I was just worried it was going to get picked off again. That would have been devastating.
And from the 2, you still have Rex Ripley if you want to try the run.
Thing that I'm not seeing is Afolabi back there deflected some of these balls down. I think that he's trying to come up and maybe, stop the run. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing with him here in this game, but he needs to be back into coverage if it was up to me.
Ripley not even on the field for this 3rd and goal. Nathan Lee to throw under pressure, fires back in the end zone, caught Tristan Carr, and London will tie the game with that one, and they can add the extra point to lead.
These defenses are playing. It just really comes down. I know I've mentioned this before, but it really comes down to the offenses of this game. Both defenses are playing outstanding right now.
It's the trash man who ties the game up at 13, and now London, with their non-contract kicker Odell, will try and add the extra point to put them out in front for the first time today. Struggles all day for the Knights, and they will have to try here. The kick is away and through. We'll step aside and be right back on the SFL Network, brought to you by APM Music.
The Simulation Football League is presented by APM Music and is the official theme music provider of the SFL. Listen to their Champions Will Rise soundtrack at apmmusic.com today and search through thousands of tracks to boost the quality of your stream just like us. APM Music, production music library and custom music house.
Nice return there to the 33 for St. Louis. And now, Shann, they're facing something they haven't seen all day. They're down.
Yeah, absolutely. And now they've got to figure out a way to this and see if they can get back on top.
And we've talked about it. The entire offense has run through Denzel Diaz. So it'll be interesting to see here whether they continue with that motto, which London has somewhat snuffed out, or if they try a different player to kind of be their key for this drive. A seal to throw under a little bit of pressure, and he goes down. Another sack. Matt Patton this time will wrap him up.
And this is what I like from St. Louis. They put all their guys back into coverage, leaving that defensive line to work against their offensive line, and that's what you come away with.
Nice sack by Patton there, his 2nd of the game so far, but still plenty of time as we continue to tick here in the 3rd. 4 minutes and counting as the clock rolls here. St. Louis now will back up into 2nd and 18. They only had the one long pass play. Shotgun look here with a seal, and Diaz to his right. A seal to throw, fires. That's a nice completion there. Cody Scott picks up plenty of yards to the 40. It'll be 3rd and 3, and that's not what you wanted if you were London's defense.
I'm not sure who Cody was working off of there, but they need to do a better job of getting that guy. I mean, Cody Scott is 6'5", 225 pounds, and he's one of the top receivers. You gotta all times.
A seal under pressure. He goes down. He had Diaz wide open in the flat, and he couldn't find him. William Davidson with the sack, and London's defense is inspiring the comeback here.
3 tackles for loss, 3 sacks. Davidson, and this defensive line for London is just cutting these guys down.
So St. Louis will punt, and London up by 1 will get the ball back, and they will, have the opportunity here off the Jeff Malinishin return to do something they haven't had all day, Shann, and that's figure out what their offense looks like when they're not down by 2 scores.
Runs by the fullback here.
Yeah, this would be the time, if any, right? Bleed some clock as well as get him involved in the game and take some pressure off Nathan Lee. Lee to throw, wants the seam route down the field, tipped it incomplete. Ethan Kai was there. It was a diving attempt, and he couldn't haul it in there. Donnie Hands almost was able to grab it.
Was tipped or it just came off the receiver's hands there. Good.
London still up by 1 here at their own 30. Second and 10 clock has stopped after the incompletion. Like to see that rolling if you're a London fan, especially with the way that their games have ended this season. Trust me, I've been on enough calls to know. 3 receivers split out for Lee. He will fire down the seam. Tristan Carr, first down, caught to the 44. Clock will roll. Nice throw and catch. Nathan Lee showing what he's got. And Tristan Carr has come up big in this third quarter.
I had a lady ask me if I wanted some more tea. I was like, nope, I don't drink hot tea. I drink sweet tea in London.
Oh, it was a London joke. I was like, where is he going with this? That has nothing to do with the play on the field. But you brought it back. Good work, Shann. Handoff there. Rex Ripley right up the middle. Gashes the St. Louis defense for 7.
That's what we've been trying to look for all night. And I think what you and I were just talking about, London being ahead for the first time in this contest. I think they were trying some things new. And, hey, we have a fullback back here.
Under 2 minutes to go in the third. Lee to throw, out route, caught, turning upfield, getting out of bounds. James Hands, first down for London.
Andy, it's nothing spectacular. Like I said earlier, he's just getting the ball to the receivers. The receivers are doing the work. Doing a great job just controlling where he's throwing the ball, out routes. He's running the ball a little bit. He has 358 yards, 89 passer rating and still has 3 interceptions.
2 receivers split out. The check down will go to Hun out of the backfield. He picks up only 2 before being cut down at the 40. And to St. Louis's defense's credit, they do have plenty of takeaways in this game. So they'll have to see if they can get another one here to help out the offense, who is struggled here in the second half. 3 down linemen, 3 other men in the box, 6 total for the Glads. Lee fires left side, and Colin Douglas almost had another interception. It was only him in the area.
What Colin was thinking there. Man.
3rd and 8 from the 40. Lee looking to convert again. They've converted third downs twice on this drive. From the 53, Lee will drop to throw. Good protection. Fires. Caught. Left side. First down, London. The offense is cooking now, Shannon. Boy, does it smell delicious.
I mean, it's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I mean, they're just moving the ball basically whenever they want to.
47 seconds left. Time has stopped because the receiver went out of bounds. And it'll now start as the huddle is broken. One back in the backfield, and Lee will take a 7-step drop, heave it out to the left side, caught. Donnie Hands hauls it in on the sideline, picks up 6.
Another little stat for Nathan Lee, he has 15 sacks on him coming into this game. And Dylan Asile had 29 sacks coming into this game. And it looks like London's defense knew that and tried to exploit that. And then on the flip side of that, so did St. Louis. But St. Louis's defensive line has not even touched anybody in this game. They've not wrapped up any tackles. They have not got to the quarterback. They need to get more involved in this game.
Shotgun look for Lee. He will throw. Out route caught. First down. Another. Shann, I've seen this play before. James Hands out of bounds to the 12.
Well, if it ain't James Hands, it's going to be Donnie Hands. And they've been doing these short out routes, these quick outs for their time. It gets to...
Two receivers. Two receivers, top of the screen for Nathan Lee. 7-step drop again. Moves in the pocket. Delivers across the middle. Caught to the 4, and that will end the third quarter. London on top and driving. 14-13. They've regained the lead over the St. Louis Gladiators here on the SFL Network. Brought to you by APM Music. So we'll switch ends of the field here at Queensway in London, England. It's a beautiful night, 64 degrees and clear. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Andy Hamilton, along with Shann Varner here in the booth. And London is driving. Nathan Lee fires back of the end zone. Oh, it's taken away, Ethan Kai! And a late hit penalty won't matter. Tristan Carr with the tackle. The penalty will be on him, but St. Louis will retain possession, and the defense comes up big again.
Andy, this defense for both of these teams are just outstanding.
So St. Louis will take over on their own 24 red zone turnovers out of London. And if anything comes back to bite them in the butt, that will be it. Is just the inefficiency in the red zone.
Yes, absolutely. I was thinking you were saying that play. What about the other 4 interceptions?
Yeah, well, I mean, even one of them as a field goal makes this a very different game. A Seal wants it all, firing deep, and that is triple covered. Slyn Shady puts the hand to it. Second and 10 from the 35. 10:51 to go in the fourth. So plenty of ball game left for both teams and a 1-point difference in this contest. It has been back and forth momentum-wise all day. Denzel Diaz really the deciding factor here for St. Louis. They'll give it to him off the right-hand side with a block. He picks up 7 to the 42, and that'll bring up 3rd and 3.
Defense is also for London also is keying in on that than they've been doing previously in this game.
Heavy formation, all the room to the bottom of the field, but they will throw. Diaz will flank out, and a Seal is sacked, and the London defense comes up with another big stop. It's Tyrone Zeus this time.
For him, but he's got to catch up with Davison and Patton.
Looking at the stat sheet here, Harish Prasad is running our stats. Let's run down this London defense. Slyn Shady, 1 deflection. Tyrone Zeus, 1.5 sacks and a tackle for loss. William Davidson, 3 sacks, 3 tackles for loss. And Matt Patton, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss. So the defense in London doing its job. Return by Malinishin. London again up by 1, but has struggled in the red zone to convert red zone trips into points. They've been in the red zone 5 times, have had 4 turnovers, and only have scored once in the red zone. And now they're at their own 31, trying to drive 69 yards, and put more points on the board and really put this game out of reach.
This is in this 3-4 defense again.
Lee fires short, caught on the slant route, and that is up to the 40. Donnie Hands with the conversion. Second and 1 from the 40. They only need the 41 in order to convert. Handoff, Ripley up the middle, and believe it or not, he's got the first down.
It's a big man. They need to use him. I think they need to use him more often to get that, to bring that defense down so they can score some big points on the gains they get from down.
Yeah, and I believe, he did have a catch earlier for 8 yards, so in the receiving game, he even is a threat. Lee moves in the pocket, throws on the run. Tristan Carr hauls it in, stays in bounds. 7-yard pickup. Clock will roll. London's at midfield, and things are just going swimmingly for the Knights right now.
They're getting out in front of these defenders and just making them pay for it, Andy.
New head coach Gerald Smith, coaching, I believe, in his 3rd game, and I'm sure the chat will correct me if I'm incorrect there. 2 receivers split out. The back is Hun, the second back, and they will throw, and that, Shann, that's easy, man. That's like boiling water.
Money.
James Hands converts to the 45, and I think St. Louis is so worried about the deep ball that they're struggling to put members of the defense up close enough to the line of scrimmage to prevent those 5 or 6 yards gains.
When you look at the stat sheet for London, Nathan Lee has 2,601 yards and 16 touchdowns. Of course, you would back up and not let that man get those big plays down the field.
Lee fires, and that is another completion there. Donnie Hands out to the 38.
What it's doing now is they're tossing up underneath with some slant routes. They're going to the outside with these quick outs, and they're just making this defense for St. Louis just pay.
10 receptions, 137 yards, 13.7 yards per catch for Donnie. Nathan Lee will change the play here and let some more clock tick off, and that's really what Gerald Smith, I'm sure, is telling him to do, is just let that clock ooze away. Lee moves, and that is another completion. Tristan Carr, he had the middle of the field wide open. Just all the room in the world, Shann.
Yeah, I think Afalabi just played too far back off of that play and allowed that short yardage, to get underneath him right there.
3-4 look out of St. Louis. This might spell trouble. Handoff to Hun, and it did spell trouble, but just not for the team I thought it would. Hun unable to go anywhere as St. Louis drops him for a 3-yard loss.
Yeah, I'd rather see him go up, non-contract, go up the middle on a play rather than to the outside.
3 receivers out there. Tristan Carr on the top of the line on 2nd and a mile, and they're going to have to pick up at least half of it here on 2nd down. Lee stands in the pocket, fires after the pressure, and it is picked off again. Freeman Peltier working on Tristan Carr, and he makes the pick. And that Nathan Lee can just not manage to not throw an interception, especially once they get on this side of the field.
I mean, I'm not sure what he was thinking here. They're doing a great enough job that, these short outs is working for him.
Well, I tell you what he was
deep.
Yeah, I'll tell you what he was thinking. I mean, Freeman Peltier's 5'11", and he's working on Tristan Carr, who is 6'7", 249. I mean, throw the ball high, but it looks like it just didn't have enough arc, and it was too short of a throw. Seal under pressure, checks out to Diaz, and Diaz picks up 7 on that catch to the 14. 6:44 to go, Shann. Even if St. Louis drives down the field and scores, London should have some time left on the clock, but there's about 86 yards standing between St. Louis and pay dirt.
Yeah, and the way this London defense has been doing, been playing, it's going to be hard for St. Louis.
So a lot of stuff going on here in this nail-biter. 2 receivers top of the screen for the Glads. A Seal under pressure immediately checks down. That's a first down completion there to the tight end. That's number 85, the big boy, who I had the pleasure of talking last week about. Benny Brazil, 6'3", 280 pounds. My goodness. Whew. That is a refrigerator catching the football.
Well, there's another refrigerator there to stop him right there with Slim Shady.
Handoff here, Diaz left side, blockers in front, only picks up 3, clock rolls. That's not... If you're St. Louis, your enemy here is almost the clock and not London. I mean, your offense has been okay when Diaz gets going. If you're London, the enemy is the clock, because for St. Louis, really, you only need a field goal.
Yeah, and you got a contract kicker with Matthew Martin, who's 16 for 12, and his longest is 49 yards.
Oh, the poetic justice if Martin was the one who won this game for St. Louis. That one's cut down. William Davidson, tackle for loss there on Diaz, will bring up 3rd and 10. Heavy formation here on 3rd down. That's not really what you'd like to see out of St. Louis in this situation. Maybe it's 4-down territory. Asil under pressure is going to run for it. Asil got the first down. What a play by the quarterback.
Lowered his shoulders on that play. It's like, I've got to make this first down. He put the team on his back and just went for it.
QB1 able to pick up the first to the 35, and with 4:40 to go and ticking, St. Louis continues to move the ball. Now at the St. Louis 35, they'll need to flip the field. I would say they'd feel comfortable from the London 35 or 30 of kicking it. Flip out to Diaz on the right side. Diaz with a lane, picks up 8.
Blocking right here, but Shady was able to snuff through that and wrap up the tackle there.
4:15 to go and rolling. St. Louis trying to climb back into this one. London trying to push them out of it. Asil stands in the pocket, delivers across the middle. Cody Scott, Mr. Right on time, finds his way to the 41.
It was nothing fancy, just a quick slant over there in the middle.
Under 3:45 to go. There's a look at Slyn Shady and the defense for London. They've played solid all day, and now they're trying to get out of this one. Still about 10 yards between St. Louis and field goal range. Handoff, Diaz, left side. Diaz stood up, dropped.
Well, I knew that wasn't going to go anywhere if they ran the ball to the outside on that one, Andy, because the defense was in a 4-2 nickel, and there was really nobody over there to the left side to block for the running back, and that makes it really easy for the free safety to come down and make that tackle.
Nathan Blake, one of the first times we've called his name today. Handoff, Diaz, right side. Oh, he's crushed. Immediately hit. Matt Patton has been all over the field for the London Knights. It's 3rd and 13, Shann. It's time to make your money or lose it.
I don't know why St. Louis is running the ball right now, especially on that play there. They just ran the ball to the left side. Now they're going to run the ball to the right side. And looking at this heavy formation right here, it looks like a pass, but they could also run it out of this formation too.
Bunch look. The 3 receivers are to the bottom. Asil to throw, moves. He's going to run for it. Is he going to get there? He will! He slides for the first down. Unbelievable scenes for St. Louis. They're now in field goal range at the 31.
That man put on the Jets and went right up the middle on this team.
Yeah, we've seen some running quarterbacks from St. Louis. Didn't think Dylan Asil was one of them, but boy, has he proven me wrong. 3 receivers split out here. Asil moves in the pocket, checks down to number 8 out of the backfield. I'm not sure who that is, who has found their way into the game. Maybe a fan. No, it's Peter Kissinger. And I don't know who he's kissing, but he gets 7 yards there to the 23, and that will be the 2-minute warning. 13-14, St. Louis down by 1 in field goal range there, and London is going to have to try and come back here. Heavy set. London with all 3 timeouts. Handoff Diaz. Diaz is stood up and dropped at the line. They're not going to give him the first down. 3rd and inches, and that's almost worse for London than if he would have got the first down, because then they would have been able to save the timeout. Instead, now a 1-yard carry will pretty much do it. Heavy formation here. 4 down linemen for London. Linebackers about 3 yards off the line. Handoff, Diaz right. Diaz first down. Diaz to the 14. London will burn their second timeout.
Oh, you know, St. Louis has been here before, so it's no concern at this point.
$1:52 left to go here at Queensway. It's eerily quiet as the fans realize what's going on. And now they will perk up here as the Knights on 1st and 10 from the 14 with 1:52 left to go here. Handoff, Diaz stood up and dropped, and that will burn the last timeout for London. So with 1:48, we'll have a rolling clock from here. 2nd and 9 from the London 13. Frank Axmall on the tackle. So another 40 seconds after this play will take it down to a minute. So London might have 20 seconds or so here with the ball, Shann, if I'm doing math correctly, and I usually don't. Handoff, Diaz, right side. Diaz cut down there. So the play clock will start. Slyn Shady on the tackle. It'll be 3rd and 9.
Just the pass here, Andy, or you just keep running it and run the clock out here?
A Seal changes the play at the line in the shotgun on 3rd and 9. Looks like he might throw. An incompletion would stop the clock, which was not in St. Louis's favor, so they'd like to make a completion here. A Seal throws, caught. There is a flag on the play. Cody Scott did not get the first down, so barring the penalty, we will have a field goal attempt. Let's take a look at what the ref says. This could be interesting.
It's of holding.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
It's a clip on the offense. That, this could be bad, Shann. The fans don't like it, and it's really going to put a wrench in this game for both teams. Because it's going to back up this field goal attempt to the 5, so it'll be a 22-yard attempt from the foot of Matthew Martin. Snap is down, hold is good, the kick is up and through! London will lead, or London goes down, 16-14. St. Louis pushes their lead on the leg of Matthew Martin.
Now you're putting the game to London with Matthew Lee. This point has already thrown 5 interceptions, so London is going to have to do something. They're going to have to throw the ball.
They need a good return. Malinishin out to the 30. There's another penalty, and this could have really big implications if it's on London. Let's see what Ref 62 says. It's a hold. It's on the receiving team. Gladiators will accept that, and that'll back up Nathan Lee.
So you're looking at what, the 20?
The 19 is where they will start their drive. And they're going to need at least to get to the 30. Remember, Shann, they cut their contracted kicker. So line them up, 4 receivers. In the shotgun is Nathan Lee. He'll change the play at the line. St. Louis rushes forward, looking down the right side. Immediately, it's incomplete. He was looking for Donnie Hands in double coverage. Hands could not come up with the diving attempt.
I think the only drop that he had is that one that he jumped for to make that try to make that catch.
So from the 19, 56, down to 56 seconds left to go in the 4th quarter, down by only 2. A field goal would win it. 3 receivers split out. Lee under pressure, hit as he threw. It's incomplete. That'll stop the clock. Not the worst play that could have happened. Scott LaRue on the pressure. 54 seconds. They need at least 8 or 9. It's definitely 4 down territory. And potentially to stop the clock. London is out of timeouts. They used them all to stop the Gladiators from burning the clock. This throw is caught on the left-hand side. Shoved out of bounds is James Hands. And with 50 seconds left, it'll be 4th and inches. This could be your ball game.
Yeah, they're going to have to go for it, though. I think that, London still has the fullback, which in this territory here, I think that he has done his job picking up the first down for a couple of times.
3 receivers split out. Shotgun look for Nathan Lee. He'll let the play clock run down, and here we go. Lee fires, caught across the middle. James Hands, security blanket to the 41, and here we go, hurry-up mode. Excuse me, London will spike it. London will spike to stop the clock, it looks like.
Big plays come out of London. I mean, Nathan Lee, he can get the ball down the field with these hands receivers. So, St. Louis, your defense is going to have to stay back.
35 seconds now to the 41, so they got to... I don't know, Shann. How far would you attempt it from with a non-contract?
At most.
Shotgun look for Nathan Lee. They need at least 20 yards. Lee, well protected, fires. That one's incomplete, and that one worked out better for London than if James Hands would have caught that.
Then they get another chance at a first down. A little bit more manageable here.
Yeah, it was only a 5 or a 6 yard catch, and he would have stayed in bounds, so it really would have been troublesome there as they would have would have tried to get up and spike the ball. 4 receivers split out here. The chat is going crazy. Lee, under pressure, fires down the seam, caught, left side. Number 12, James Hands still on his feet. Hands to the 10, to the 5, and he's down at the 6. London's going to let the time roll. What are you doing? Get up to the line. London doesn't have any timeouts, and the clock is rolling. 12, down to 11, 10. I don't think they notice what is going on. Now they're up there. They got the field goal unit out. 6, 5, 4. It's going to be a pressure kick. 2. Snap is good. Hold is good. It's up and through. London wins 17-16 in a walk-off field goal. Unbelievable.
And no timeouts. Oh, my.
Gerald Smith and the London Knights defeat St. Louis for the 2nd time this season, and Smith gets his first win as a head coach. London gets the win.
Oh, my God. I cannot believe that just happened.
Unbelievable scenes here at Queensway as London escapes with a victory in the closing seconds of this game. St. Louis will fall to 2-6. London improves. For Andy Hamilton, Shann, Varner, and the rest of SFL Network.
Oh, my gosh.
Along with the Harish Prasad on stats. Thank you all for tuning in. What a game!
I'm just speechless right now. I don't even know what to say.
Try saying goodbye to the folks.
Goodbye, everybody.
More SFL action continues throughout the rest of the day. Stick with us here on YouTube.